Pogo cable secrets with Launch X431 IMMO Plus and Elite. Full guide for VW and more. Hey everyone, and welcome back to VW Motors, the channel where we dive deep into the world of automobile diagnostics, key programming, and advanced tools that make every technician's job a whole lot easier. Before we get started, here's a quick but important note. This video is purely for educational and informational purposes. Everything shown and explained here is intended to guide technicians, learners, and enthusiasts who want to better understand how their tools work. We fully respect intellectual property rights, and any trademarks, references, or software names you hear in this video belong to their rightful owners. Please also remember to always follow the guidelines provided by manufacturers and make sure that whatever you do complies with local regulations and laws. Now, let's get into today's hot topic, but before that, let me ask you something important. Do you know if the Launch X431 IMMO Plus or IMMO Elite can handle Volkswagen Instrument immobilizer key programming through the Pogo pin method without requiring you to physically remove or read the chip? For instance, think about a 2013 VW Jetta flip key. Would the Pogo method actually work the same way it does with an Autel device? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop your guesses in the comments right now before I reveal the full step-by-step process. And while you're at it, let's set a real challenge for today. Let's see if this video can hit 10,000 likes and 1,000 comments within just 24 hours. I know it sounds ambitious, but with your support, it's absolutely possible. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please take a second to do it now. It costs nothing but means everything for the growth of VW Motors. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest deep dive tutorials. Oh, and here's something fun. You can also hype this video directly in the comment section. It's a totally free way to boost our ranking and show the YouTube world that this content is worth watching. And finally, if you find real value in today's content, you can also support with a super thanks. It's another way of showing love to the channel. All right, let's roll right into the details. So here's the deal. The Launch X431 IMMO Plus and IMMO Elite do indeed come with something called a Pogo cable, which is included right in the box when you purchase the kit. This Pogo cable isn't just an accessory. It's an incredibly powerful tool when you know how to use it correctly. If you've worked with Autel devices, you're probably familiar with the convenience of their Pogo pin and plug method. It allows you to establish contact with certain ECU or instrument cluster points without going through the hassle of desoldering or directly reading chips. The big question many technicians ask is whether launch tools, particularly the IMMO Plus and Elite, can match that capability. The clue lies in the hardware itself. The Pogo cable included with your launch package connects directly to the yellow port on the X-PROG 3 programmer. This port, known as the DB26 connector, is the key interface where you'll be establishing communication between your Pogo pin probe and the instrument cluster or ECU you're working on. Now, once connected, things start to get interesting. Here's what user feedback and real-world experiences reveal. At first, some users struggled to figure out how the Pogo cable integrated into the process. But after trial and error, it became clear the Pogo cable, when connected to the X-PROG 3 yellow port, allows you to directly access the boot points on the instrument cluster. When you carefully touch the Pogo probe to the correct point on the board, and at the same time provide power to the instrument, the cluster enters service mode. This is the crucial step that unlocks access to the immobilizer data. The actual procedure goes something like this. First, identify the correct Pogo point on your instrument cluster. This step is critical because hitting the wrong point can cause serious issues, including potential corruption of the cluster's clock data. Once you've identified the right spot, hold a Pogo pin probe firmly against that point. While maintaining that contact, connect the Pogo cable into the X-PROG 3's yellow DB26 connector. With this setup in place, apply power to the instrument cluster. If done correctly, the cluster will power up in service mode. Now that the cluster is in service mode, you can proceed to retrieve the immobilizer data. This includes crucial information like the IMMO code and other security data that you'll need for key programming. Once you've successfully pulled the data, you can put the instrument cluster back into the vehicle. From there, simply turn the ignition on, and you're ready to continue with dealer key adaptation or learning a new key. This method has been reported to work successfully on models like the 2013 Volkswagen Jetta flip key scenario we mentioned earlier. It's worth pointing out again that caution is extremely important when using the Pogo pin method, because you're making direct physical contact with sensitive points on the circuit board. Even a slight slip or incorrect placement can cause unexpected problems. In particular, if you end up on the wrong pin, you risk corrupting the cluster's clock data, which can create more headaches than it solves. That's why patience, precision, and reference diagrams are your best friends when using the Pogo probe. Now let's step back and look at why this method is such a game changer. Traditionally, retrieving immobilizer data often meant opening up the cluster and desoldering chips to read them directly with an adapter. Not only is this time-consuming, but it also carries the risk of damaging the board or the chip itself. The Pogo method eliminates that risk by allowing a non-destructive contact solution. For busy workshops or mobile locksmiths, this can save hours of labor and significantly reduce the risk of accidental damage. Another point to consider is how the Launch X431 IMMO Plus and Elite compare to competitors like Autel. While Autel has long marketed the convenience of its Pogo method, the fact that Launch includes a Pogo cable and supports this function through its X-PROG 3 interface means that technicians now have a competitive option. In practice, users have confirmed that Launch tools are capable of retrieving IMMO data using the Pogo method when applied correctly. This levels the playing field and makes Launch an even more attractive choice for shops and technicians who value versatility. Let's take the Volkswagen Jetta example further. Imagine you have a customer who lost their flip key for a 2013 model. Without the Pogo option, you'd be forced to remove the cluster, solder the chip, and then hope everything works after reassembly. That process could take you anywhere from 45 minutes to over an hour, depending on your experience and setup. With the Pogo cable, however, you can identify the boot point, hold the probe in place, power up the cluster, retrieve the immobilizer data, and be on your way to key programming in a fraction of that time. That's a massive efficiency boost and a great selling point for your services. It's also worth emphasizing that while this method saves time, it doesn't mean you should rush. The key to success is steady hands and careful alignment. Many technicians recommend practicing on scrap clusters first before attempting Pogo pin work on a customer vehicle. This way, you'll gain confidence in holding the probe and recognizing service mode activation without risking valuable customer hardware. So, to circle back to the question I asked at the beginning, can Launch X431 IMMO Plus and Elite handle Volkswagen Instrument IMMO key programming using the Pogo cable without direct chip reading? The answer is yes, they can. As long as you have the Pogo cable connected to the X-PROG 3 yellow DB26 port, and you correctly locate the Pogo contact point on the cluster, you can retrieve IMMO data and proceed with key programming successfully. Now let's wrap this up with a quick personal note and some final thoughts. Personally, I think the addition of the Pogo cable to the Launch kit is a brilliant move. It shows that Launch is listening to technicians' needs and adapting their hardware to provide more practical, real-world solutions. For locksmiths and workshop owners, the Pogo method is not just about saving time. It's about reducing risk, improving reliability, and giving customers faster service. So what do you think? Would you feel comfortable using the Pogo pin method, or would you prefer the traditional chip reading approach? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. And before I sign off, let me share a fun and useful tip. Did you know that Pogo pins are actually a long-established technology used not only in automotive programming, but also in electronics manufacturing for testing printed circuit boards? Their spring-loaded design makes them perfect for creating quick, reliable connections without soldering. That's exactly why they've become so valuable in modern automotive diagnostics, letting you probe sensitive boards safely and efficiently. All right, that's a wrap for today's tutorial. Thanks for sticking with me till the very end. You guys are the reason VW Motors continues to grow. If you're one of our loyal subscribers, I want to sincerely thank you for your ongoing support. If you're new here and haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time, It's completely free, and it ensures you never miss our upcoming guides. Remember the challenge: 10,000 likes and 1,000 comments in the first 24 hours. Help us hit that milestone by dropping your feedback, questions, or even just typing hype in the comments. And don't forget, hyping the video in the comments section is free, fun, and helps our content reach more technicians worldwide. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep learning, keep experimenting, and, as always, happy diagnosing.